Hi and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know who I am LuceStephenson. I upload on Wednesdays, Fridays and Sundays, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And today I'm going to be doing a fake versus real video. Ooh, itchy nose. And today's is going to be on the beauty blender. So I've got a fake one off eBay which cost me 99p, and then the real deal which cost me £16 from Boots. I'm not sure if it's gone up since, but it was £16 when I bought it. And as you can tell, I mean, it does need a good clean, but as you can tell, it is very well loved. So the packaging of the fake one, I mean, it looks spot on. There's even like a sticker that you get to say like it won an award, which is like what you'd expect to see like in shops. So very convincing. Haven't actually used this yet, so I'm very excited to try it. It feels really firm. Like, fair enough, this one has been wet before. It's not wet at the moment, it's just like dry. But as for size difference, so I don't know if you can be able to tell, but there is quite a size difference. I mean, this one looks a lot chunkier and not as tapered, whereas the light pink one, which is the fake one obviously, does look more tapered towards the top. This one feels really hard, and this one feels like really squidgy. So that's one half done with the beauty blender, the real one, and now let's do the other side with the fake beauty blender. And I'm just using the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation to do this. Ooh, the noise difference compared to the beauty blender. It's like literally like soaked up on the sponge as well. Okay, let's see what this is like. This one feels like I'm getting punched in the face. Well, I can't do that on my throat. That hurts. But yeah, if you have sensitive skin, I don't think this fake one would be any good for you. Fake one isn't blending out as nicely, and it's very patchy, and it's nowhere near the same coverage. And I did the exact same amount on both sides of my face, so I know it's definitely not to do with the foundation. On the real beauty blender side, it's covered up my redness where I'd be like picking at my nose, but on the fake beauty blender side it hasn't at all. Like, it's still really red, hasn't covered up like my blemishes and stuff. And look at the state of the sponge. Okay, so let's try some concealer. Actually, I'm going to put a little bit more foundation on this side just because it's very uneven, so I'm going to see whether another layer is needed. With the fake one, it just completely like stains it compared to the real one. Like, I don't understand, like it's soaked up so much of that foundation, and I think that's why it's gone patchy. And I think that's why I've had to put more foundation on the fake beauty blender side, because I feel like the sponge is just absorbing all of my foundation. That could have something to do with the fact that this is a water foundation, but still the real beauty blender didn't do that, so come see, come ça. Now we're going in with some of the Collection Lasting Perfection concealer. I'm going to put this underneath my eyes. I'm also going to put some on my nose where that foundation hasn't covered it up, and then round the edge of my nose as well, and just a little bit up here from where I've scratched myself. So going in with the real beauty blender to begin with. This is what I normally use my beauty blender for. I normally use it for my concealer. Never really use it for foundation. I'm not sure why. I just always prefer to use like a flat top brush like this. This one needs washing, but just to give you an example. And although this real beauty blender isn't as tapered as the fake one, it still gets in all the little cracks that you need it to get into. So that is the real side done. Now let's go with the fake, and let's see whether it absorbs the concealer the same way it's done with the foundation. The consistency of this sponge is so weird, because on the concealer it's kind of gone the same as what you'd expect your beauty blender to look like if it was paler. But when it came to the foundation, I don't know if it's because it was blobs all over my face and the concealer was a bit more blended out. And that's why I absorbed it, or whether it was because it was a water foundation. I'm not sure, but honestly I'm really not enjoying the texture of this. Like, I don't understand. It feels like one of them things that you'd get when you were little, like where you could like mould it. Do you know what I mean? I just don't like it. But I will say that it has applied the concealer a lot better than the beauty blender has underneath my eyes. When it came to around my nose, it was useless. I don't think it's blended it out properly. When it came to covering up my nose itself, I feel like, well, one, it just really hurt because it is such a hard sponge. But not only that, it hasn't covered it up, and that concealer is full coverage, so it's not anything to do with the concealer, that is to do with the sponge itself. On my nose, that fake beauty blender has just made my pores look absolutely huge. So all in all, let's do a roundup. So we have the real beauty blender versus the fake beauty blender that was 99p off eBay. I personally think that this is worth £16, and I was somebody who would not buy the beauty blender, and I used all these £1 ones off eBay, not actually like beauty blender packaging, but just £1 ones off eBay, and I've used Real Technique ones, and none of them, hands down, none of them compare to the beauty blender. The texture, I don't know what it is, it's the texture of it, it's, I don't know, I've just never had a sponge work the way that this beauty blender does, and it's just amazing. And yes, it does need a wash. As you know, I don't encourage any of you to buy any fake products. This is just for people being curious. The reason I did this video because I've had a lot of people ask me to do it. Any videos on my channel that are fake versus real, I'm only doing this for entertainment reasons, and I'm not recommending you to buy any fakes point blank. And although this might not apply to fake beauty blender sponges like this, it does apply to like fake makeup and stuff off eBay as well, because you don't know what ingredients are going into these fake products. You don't know if it's safe, if it's not, what on earth they're putting into it. There's been so many horror stories, so please be careful. And I'm not being funny to any of you who do like to buy fakes, because you just do you, but please be safe doing so. This is so wet, by the way. I just squished it against my face, and that is like so wet, and it took some of my foundation off. Awesome. So moral of the story, get the real beauty blender, or try and get like a one that you think is as good as this, such as the Real Techniques one, etc. But I don't think anything compares to this, especially not this fake. I'm going to cut it open and see what's inside it. I've cut up the fake, and inside it's full of wash, like you can hear it squidging about in there. It feels like a beanbag. I do not like this at all. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe. I upload Wednesdays, Fridays and Sundays. I'm back in the game now, so thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye guys!